All right. Good morning, everybody. You're watching this video because I mentioned I wasn't feeling good and didn't make it in today, but good job for making it to school for you guys. Hopefully you're all feeling all right. We're going to keep going with 4.2. This is still the slope-intercept form. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. This time we have some different problems we need to solve using the equation. The first type of problem I'm going to solve for you or show you some examples of is when you're given a point and the slope. So a point is like an ordered pair, like 2, 3. The slope would be like n equals 6. You'll have lots of problems kind of like this on your homework. So I'm going to show you a couple things here. We already talked about this yesterday. This is review. We said that m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. And we learned in Chapter 3 about the slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's all review, but it's just right here in your notes so that you got it. I'm going to do a couple examples here. I have off to the side some steps. Just going to try to make this as clear as I can. They're going to give you a question like write an equation that passes through 2, -3 with a slope of 1/2. So this is the ordered pair, this is the point, and with a slope of 1/2. Your steps over here. You just want to start out with the general equation. So you just want to write y equals mx plus b. That's step 1. So I'm just going to write that. Y equals mx plus b. Do you have to do it every time? No. I'm just trying to make it clear what I'm doing. Your second step is plug in what you know. They give us some things in the problem. What is the 1/2? It's the slope. Slope is m. So we definitely can plug in the 1/2 right here for the m. There are some other things you know, though. It might not be as obvious. When you have an ordered pair like this represents x and y, x comma y. So x equals 2. And y equals -3. We can plug these values in over here to our equation. So it'd be -3 equals, we already had the 1/2 from the m, x is 2, plus, do we know what b is? No, that's what we really actually have to find. Then we solve. So I'm going to do some math here. This is still -3. 1/2 times 2 is 1 plus b. To get b by itself, hopefully you're just moving ahead on this. Subtracting 1. -3 minus 1 is -4 equals b. You don't know it, but you have everything you need now to write your final equation. They want you to write an equation. They want you to write something that's y equals mx plus b. The two ingredients that you need for an equation is the m and the b. We had the m. They gave it to us. We needed to find b. Guess what we just did? So your last step here is to write the equation. So it would be y equals, m is 1/2, x plus b is -4, so actually I need some white out. That would be -4. Man, I just smeared it. Minus 4. That's your actual final equation. Is it okay that there's a y and an x? Yes, it is. That's what it's supposed to look like. This is when they give you a slope and a point. Okay? This is another example. Write an equation that passes through -2, 5 with a slope of 3. I'm following my same steps. Start by writing y equals mx plus b. Plug in what you know. Remember that the -2 is x, the 5 is y, so I could plug in a 5 for y. My slope is 3. X was -2. I still don't know what b is. That was step 2, plug in what you know. Then you can solve it. 5 equals 3 times -2 is -6 plus b. Add 6. So b equals 11. My final equation, they gave me m, and I found b. So y equals, m was 3. B I found was 11. That's my final answer right here. You'll have a lot on your homework like that. Sometimes, like on your test that we'll have it, I guess, next week, it'll ask you this question. Is the point 1, 2 on the line? Is the point 1, 2 on the line? Well, lots of ways you could solve this. If it were me, I would plug in the 1 for x. So I would use my equation, y equals 3x plus 11. That's what I had up here. I'm going to plug in 1 for x. So y equals 3 times 1 plus 11. Y equals 3 times 1 is 3 plus 11 is 14. So at the point when x is 1, y is 14. Does that match what this had right here? It does not. So the answer would be no. 1, 2 is not on the line. That is technically the first half of the notes. You're given a point and a slope, you find the equation. Part 2 is a little different. Instead of giving you a point and a slope, in the second half, they give you 2 points. That means they give you like 2, 3, and 4, 5. See how it's different? Some of you are probably already thinking, oh, maybe you have to find the slope. Yeah, you do. Hey, look, I even wrote on here again. This is part 2 of your notes. Slope-intercept form. M is the slope. B is the y-intercept. You don't have to write this again if you already have it. I'm just really trying to be redundant. M is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This really is going to be key. So here's your steps this time, but the difference is this is for 2 points. Last time, it was for slope and a point. They are different problems, similar ideas. They give you 2 points. And guess what? This is going to be like x1, y1, x2, y2. This is the same concept. There's just one extra step. And as I already mentioned, the first step here is to find m. Before they told us m. And m is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So my m, I'm kind of doing it off to the side here. y2 minus y1. This is negative 8 minus negative 4. Over negative 2 minus negative 3. Just pausing so you can write that down. Negative 8 minus negative 4. It's like adding a positive, so it's really negative 4 over negative 2 plus 3 is 1, so my slope is negative 4. My second step was just like before. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. We plugged in what we knew. Same thing here. Plug in what you know. We know the m is negative 4. You can use either point, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that you're using the x and the y from the same point. So I'll just do this one. Negative 4 is my y. X is negative 3. We don't know what b is. Step 4 is to solve, just like we did before. So I still have negative 4 equals negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12 plus b. Subtract 12. Negative 4 minus 12 is negative 16 equals b. Very last step, write the equation. So I'll have y equals, my two ingredients, I need the m and the b. I found the m was negative 4. B is negative 16. Done. Find the slope. Write the original equation. Plug in what you know to find b. Solve it out, write your final equation. Okay, these last examples that I have for you, technically I guess these notes have a third part. Part 3 are some story problems. In 2001, also don't feel like you need to write down all these words, okay? I'm giving you these equations. I post on my notes. They're all up on my website. I'll get them all up there, so don't feel like you need to write them all down. In 2001, there were 56.1 thousand golden retrievers. 2002, there were 62.5. Assume t is the number of years after 2000. They want you to write an equation. I wrote a tip over here. Tip is write 2 points. So for our example right here, I'll do this in pencil because this is just part of our example. The 2 points that they give us, well, they told us in 2001. T is the number of years after 2000. So what would my x value be, or my t value? Would just be 1. And I'm just going to use 56.1. You could make it into the thousands. It's fine either way. In 2002, guess what? That'll be my 2 value. There were 62.5 thousand. Those are my 2 points. Once I have those, I can write an equation using the steps that you all just hopefully added to your notes right here. Find m, write the equation, plug in what you know, solve, write your final equation. So I'll keep these next to this while I'm kind of writing it out. Write an equation. Okay, this is all that we need right here. We need to find m using our 2 points. So m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. My 2 y's being subtracted, 62.5 minus 56.1 over x2 minus x1, 2 minus 1. This ends up being 6.4 over 1, which is just 6.4. That's my m. Once I have m, I found m, I want to just write my equation. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. I found m. So I can plug in either number for my x and y, or either point, it doesn't matter. This is x, this is y. So y is 56.1 equals, m is 6.4, x is 1, plus b. Solve it out. 56.1 equals 6.4 plus b. Subtract 6.4. This is 49.7 equals b. And I have my 2 ingredients. I have m and I have b. So I can write y equals m is 6.4 plus 49.7. I guess if we're going to be technical, we probably should have used a t instead of an x, but I would accept it either way. This, I believe, is also a question right from your homework. How many will there be in 2017? Well, in 2017, t equals 17, or x equals 17. Make that an x equals 17. So y equals 6.4 times 17 plus 49.7 equals 158.5. This would be 1,000 golden retrievers. That's your answer right there. Last example, then we're done. You guys are doing great. Hang in there. Well, actually, I don't know if you're doing great. I guess your sub will tell me. Example 4, constant in the change. Planet Fitness is offering a membership for $10 a month and a $49 yearly membership fee. Write an equation that represents the cost of membership for m months. This is like what we talked about yesterday. It helps if you find the starting point and the change. Change is like the slope. If you're looking at this, if I could actually ask you and call on somebody, I'd ask, what do you think the starting point is? And what do you think the change is? Change usually has to do with the word per. So this is $10 per month for every month. It's increasing at $10. The starting point when you first sign up for your membership, well, you don't pay the $49 right there. They actually take it out a few months later. But, you know, all the technicalities aside, it would be $49. That's like the flat rate. It's not changing. It's just $49 for the year. Write an equation. So the tip right here, I guess I already kind of did it on the side. Find M. Find B. M is the constant. I'm sorry, the slope, the change. B is the constant, or the starting point. Once you have that, we know our equation is y equals mx plus b. Change is 10, so that's 10x plus 49. Done. A lot of words, doesn't take a lot of math, just got to plug it in. Okay, here are your homework assignments, homework problems. I will leave my notes with the sub in case I went too fast and you need to copy something down. You have time in class. This video only took 21 minutes. And unless we had another 2-hour delay or something, you normally have 77 minutes with me, minus announcements. And by the time you got started, you probably have, what, at least, I would say 40 to 50 minutes to work on this. Somewhere in there, 45. So the expectation is, for all of you, I really am tempted to start calling out names, but that probably wouldn't be very nice. All of you should have your books out. If you need to borrow a book, I have some in the cupboards above the blue trays. You can borrow a book. Just make sure you put it back. You need to be working on this. If you did not get yesterday's homework done, we're not correcting yesterday's homework until I come back. And if I correct it, once we get it kind of corrected, then we'll go over 4.1 and 4.2 whenever I see you next. Alright, I hope you guys have an awesome day. I know that you'll all be good for the sub. And if you're not, you know that you'll get a detention. But I know that's not really an issue for you guys. So anyway, I will see you soon. Have a great day, everybody.